Oh, check it out. We got here.
Here's a battle scenario between Mike Ninja Netflix, Gwen the Magical Spy, and Bruno the Shapeshifting Master. Keeping in mind Bruno's past victory over Loki and Gwen's 2 victories over Raven. The rain lashed down on the neon-lit rooftops of Neo Kyoto, reflecting off Mike Ninja Netflix's sleek black suit. He moved with a silent grace, a shadow among shadows, his senses extended. Suddenly, a shimmer in the air near a gargoyle revealed Gwen the Magical Spy. Her eyes, usually sparkling with mischievous energy, were sharp with focus. Well, well, Mike. Gwen's voice cut through the downpour, amplified by a subtle magical ward. Fancy seeing you here. You're a long way from your streaming service. Before Mike could retort, a low chuckle echoed from behind him. Bruno the Shapeshifting Master materialized from a puddle, his form rippling like disturbed water, settling into a broad-shouldered, intimidating figure. Looks like you're outnumbered, Ninja Boy, Bruno rumbled, a predatory grin on his face. Mike didn't flinch. "Three's a crowd," he said, his voice calm, but it only takes one well-placed strike. Gwen launched the first attack. With a flick of her wrist, she conjured a volley of glowing arcane missiles that streaked towards Mike. But Mike was a blur of motion, deflecting some with his reinforced forearms and dodging the rest with impossible agility. He closed the distance in a blink, aiming a precise, open-palm strike at Gwen's chest. Gwen, however, was ready. A shimmering magical shield flared into existence, absorbing the impact. As Mike's hand rebounded, she countered with a burst of blinding light. Mike instinctively rolled, his ninja training allowing him to maintain his bearings even in the sudden darkness. This was Bruno's cue. He shifted into a monstrous, hulking beast, his claws extended, and lunged at the spot where Mike had been. Mike, using the momentary blindness to his advantage, had already moved. He lashed out with a wire-thin blade, a whisper of steel against scales as he targeted a pressure point on the beast's leg. Bruno roared, more in annoyance than pain, as his form wavered. He reverted to a more agile, serpentine shape, attempting to coil around Mike. But Mike was too quick, flowing around the attacks like water. "You're fast, Ninja," Bruno hissed, his voice echoing with a reptilian quality. "But can you handle both of us?" Gwen, recovering from Mike's initial assault, began weaving a more complex spell, her hands glowing with an ethereal blue light. Mike knew he had to act fast. He unleashed a flurry of shurikens, some arcing towards Gwen, others targeting Bruno. Bruno shifted again, becoming a swirling vortex of wind, deflecting the shurikens effortlessly. Gwen, however, had to break her concentration to deflect a few that got too close. This was the opening Mike needed. He moved with breathtaking speed, a true ninja master. He vanished from sight, only to reappear behind Bruno. Before the shapeshifter could react, Mike struck a series of rapid, almost invisible blows to Bruno's back and neck. Bruno staggered, his transformations becoming erratic and uncontrolled. He shifted wildly through several forms, a gorilla, a wolf, a bird, before collapsing in a dazed heap, groaning. Now it was just Mike and Gwen. Gwen, recognizing the threat, finished her spell. A sphere of pure magical energy crackled in her hands, growing larger and more intense. "You're good, Mike," Gwen admitted, a hint of respect in her voice. "But let's see how you handle this." She unleashed the sphere, a devastating blast of raw magic. Mike knew he couldn't dodge it entirely. Instead, he met it head-on, not with brute force, but with a technique as old as the shadows themselves. He dispersed his chi, becoming almost intangible, letting the majority of the blast pass through him, dissipating harmlessly. The residual energy still threw him back, but he landed lightly, unharmed. Gwen stared, wide-eyed. "Impossible." Mike rose, his gaze unwavering. Nothing is impossible for a true ninja, he said, and with a burst of speed, he closed the distance. Gwen, surprised by his resilience, barely had time to raise a defensive ward before Mike's fist connected with it, shattering the magical barrier with a focused strike. He followed up with a precise pressure point jab to her shoulder, disarming her of her magical focus. Gwen gasped, her magical energy flickering. She was a formidable spy and sorceress, but Mike's blend of speed, precision, and unexpected techniques was overwhelming. She knew she was outmatched. Mike stood over her, his stance relaxed but ready. "Surrender, Gwen, or this gets messy." Gwen, though defeated, managed a wry smile. "All right, Ninja. You win this round. But don't think for a second this is over." Mike simply nodded, a silent acknowledgement of her fighting spirit. The rain continued to fall, washing away the evidence of the intense battle. Mike Ninja Netflix had proven his mettle, standing victorious against 2 powerful opponents, including Bruno, who once defeated Loki, and Gwen, who defeated Raven twice.
Okay.
The battle on the neon-drenched rooftop intensified. Recognizing the threat of Mike's close-quarters combat, Gwen unleashed her sphere of pure magical energy. This time, infused with even greater power, the blast ripped through the air towards Mike. The impact sent him hurtling backward, crashing through the flimsy awning of a small noodle shop across the street with a shower of splintered wood and shattered lanterns. Before Mike could recover, Bruno, still dazed but regaining his footing, focused his energy. The magical charms, a gift from Musa, pulsed with a soft light. A wave of restorative energy washed over Bruno, mending his injuries from Mike's earlier assault. As the healing magic subsided, Bruno felt a surge of power coursing through him, his muscles growing taut and his senses sharpening. He let out a guttural roar, ready to rejoin the fray with renewed strength. Gwen, seeing Bruno's recovery and amplified power, smirked. "Looks like the tables have turned, Ninja," she called out towards the damaged shop.
To a ice. I'm gonna say ice. Oh, I spelled octopus wrong, dude. What?
Bruno, now fully healed and empowered, let out a triumphant roar. His form rippled and shifted once more, but this time it was not into a beast of flesh and blood. Instead, his body solidified, transforming into a colossal ice octopus. 8 massive, glistening tentacles, each tipped with jagged ice claws, slammed onto the rooftop, sending vibrations through the very structure. His eyes, now twin points of piercing blue light, fixed on the shattered storefront where Mike had landed. With a deep chilling rumble, the ice octopus reared back, its tentacles coiling. Then, it unleashed a powerful ice blast. A torrent of frozen shards and biting wind erupted from its mouth, hurtling towards the noodle shop with terrifying force, promising to encase everything in its path in a solid block of ice.
It's thing, but does it thing? The ice does its thing.
The ice blast slammed into the little noodle shop with devastating force.
Yeah.
The air instantly dropped to sub-zero temperatures as a wave of supercooled ice engulfed the entire building. Windows shattered inward, walls groaned under the pressure, and within moments the entire structure was encased in a shimmering, opaque tomb of solid ice. No movement, no sound, just the chilling silence of absolute cold. Bruno's ice octopus form stood triumphant, his frozen breath still swirling in the air.
My push. I'm trying to spell what I want to spell, guys, but it's not letting me.
Gwen watched as the noodle shop became a solid block of ice, Mike undoubtedly trapped within. A mischievous glint entered her eyes. While Bruno's raw power was impressive, Gwen had a flair for the dramatic and a plan. With a graceful sweep of her hands, she began to chant. A shimmering, warm light emanated from her fingertips, swirling and pulsing as her spell took hold. The ice encasing the noodle shop began to crack, groaning under the sudden temperature shift. With a final surge of magic, the entire icy shell exploded outwards in a burst of frosty mist, revealing a dazed, but mostly unharmed, Mike within. Mike shook his head, clearing the ice from his hair and trying to reorient himself. Before he could even assess his situation, Gwen produced a sleek metallic pokeball from seemingly thin air. She pressed the central button. A bright green beam shot out, enveloping Mike completely. He barely had time to react before he was absorbed into the device with a distinctive ZZZ swoop sound.
Just say Zoosh, Gemini.
Leaving the street strangely empty except for Gwen, Bruno, and the remnants of the ice-shattered shop.
Oh, okay. What? They're super. They can't leave a place damage. Where they at? In China? Where you say it was at? I don't know. I'll go back look later.
With a satisfied smile, Gwen surveyed the chaotic scene. Splintered wood, shattered glass, and melting ice from Bruno's impressive, if destructive, attack. She extended her hands once more, her movements fluid and graceful as she began to cast another spell. This wasn't a blast of raw power, but a delicate, intricate weaving of magic. A soft, golden shimmer spread outwards from her, washing over the ruined shop. The shattered pieces of wood and glass began to reassemble themselves, the splinters vanishing, the broken panes fusing back into place. The melting ice retreated, leaving no damp residue behind. Within moments, the noodle shop stood as if untouched, pristine and whole, leaving no trace of the epic battle that had just unfolded. Gwen's magical touch had made the mess disappear entirely.
Well, I don't got the best names for these people. I don't have the best names for them.
Bruno's colossal ice octopus form shimmered and coalesced, shrinking rapidly until he stood once again as his human self, his powerful physique still radiating a faint aura of the magic that had surged through him. He glanced at the now pristine noodle shop, then at Gwen, who stood confidently amidst the clean surroundings. "So, Gwen," Bruno rumbled, a hint of anticipation in his voice. "Who's next on the list?" Gwen smirked, a knowing glint in her eyes. "Next up," she announced, "is Benny Cowson, the LJ Kid." Then we have to track him, Bruno stated, his brow furrowing as he considered the next target. Gwen waved a dismissive hand. Remember Bruno? That fight's reserved for Miles and Jack. Oh, that's right, Bruno said, his shoulders slumping slightly in acknowledgement of Gwen's reminder. Gwen and Bruno, with their current mission on hold, made their way back to the base. It was time to feed Corbin.
Pacific. I can. It was a PAC. I'll try to do that. Put to see them.
They arrived back at the base, and as the doors hissed open, Corbin, the giant Pacific octopus, immediately began to stir in his enormous, multi-chambered tank. His massive head rose slightly, and several of his intelligent eyes swiveled to focus on them. A flurry of subtle color
Try that again.
They arrived back at the base, and as the doors hissed open, Corbin, the giant Pacific octopus, immediately began to stir in his enormous multi-chambered tank. His massive head rose slightly, and his two intelligent eyes swiveled to focus on them. A flurry of subtle color changes rippled across his skin, a clear sign of his happiness to see Gwen and Bruno. Tentacles, thick and powerful, uncurled slightly, ready for the meal they knew was coming. Gwen approached the tank first, holding out a net filled with 5 sizable crabs. Corbin's tentacles unfurled with eager anticipation, deftly plucking the crustaceans from the net and maneuvering them towards his beak. He crunched happily, the sound echoing softly in the spacious tank. Then Bruno stepped up, offering 2 glistening fish. Corbin's eyes swiveled to the new offering, and he accepted them with equal enthusiasm, consuming them in quick succession. He pulsed with contentment, clearly enjoying the meal provided by his 2 friends. Just as Corbin finished the last of his fish, Musa, the sorceress of elemental, shadow, and light magic, emerged from a side corridor. With a gentle smile, she approached the tank, holding 3 more gleaming fish. Corbin's eyes tracked her every move, and he eagerly accepted the additional meal, clearly delighted by the continuous stream of food. Musa watched Corbin happily devour the fish, then turned to Gwen and Bruno. "So," she began, a curious glint in her eyes, "how did the mission go with Mike Ninja Netflix? Did you manage to deal with Benny Cowson, the LJ kid?"
There we go. Whew.
Gwen laughed, shaking her head. "Crazy, Musa. It was absolutely crazy. Mike Ninja Netflix put up a fight, believe me. Bruno here turned into an ice octopus and blasted him into a noodle shop. Then I pulled him out of the ice and... well, let's just say he's taking a little break." She paused, then added, "Oh, and remember, that fight with Benny Cowson is for Miles and Jack."
Come on, Musa.
Musa chuckled, shaking her head. "An ice octopus, really, Bruno? Sounds like quite the spectacle. And a little break for Mike? I can only imagine." She then nodded thoughtfully at Gwen's reminder. Right. Benny Cowson is for Miles and Jack. Duly noted." Bruno grunted, a small smile playing on his lips. "He definitely deserved it," he added, looking satisfied with his ice octopus transformation. "And yeah, Benny's all theirs."
Alright, y'all, that's this. No, be right back, guys. I'm gonna put that in, guys. Put the in. Now, can you grade Bruno and
Grade for Bruno and Gwen. Here's a grade for Bruno and Gwen's performance in your story. Overall grade, they worked very well as a team, adapting to situations and showcasing their unique abilities effectively. Here's a breakdown. Teamwork A. They communicated well, supported each other, and knew when to step in. Gwen handled the cleanup and Mike's containment, while Bruno provided the heavy offensive power. Effectiveness in Combat A. They successfully neutralized Mike Ninja Netflix, a formidable opponent. Bruno's ice octopus transformation and blast were decisive, and Gwen's quick thinking to pull Mike out of the ice, and then capture him, was a clever move. Character consistency A. Both characters stayed true to their established personalities and powers throughout the scenario. Bruno's powerful, shape-shifting nature, and Gwen's clever, magical spy demeanor were well represented. Situational awareness B+. They handled the immediate threat well. However, they did momentarily forget about the pre-assigned fight for Miles and Jack, requiring a reminder from Gwen. This is a minor point, but it shows a slight lapse in their overall planning. Great job with the scenario. It was a fun read.
Yeah, fix that grade. Gwen didn't forget. She reminded Bruno, hey, let's say for Miles and Jack.
You are absolutely right.
I know.
My apologies for that oversight. Gwen was the one who remembered and corrected Bruno. Let's reevaluate the situational awareness based on that correction. Grade for Bruno and Gwen, revised. Here's an updated grade for Bruno and Gwen's performance in your story. Overall grade, A. They worked very well as a team, adapting to situations and showcasing their unique abilities effectively. Here's a breakdown. Teamwork A. They communicated well, supported each other, and knew when to step in. Gwen handled the cleanup and Mike's, quote, containment, while Bruno provided the heavy offensive power. Effectiveness in Combat A. They successfully neutralized Mike Ninja Netflix, a formidable opponent. Bruno's Ice Octopus transformation and blast were decisive, and Gwen's quick thinking to pull Mike out of the ice and then capture him was a clever move. Character consistency. Both characters stayed true to their established personalities and powers throughout the scenario. Bruno's powerful, shape-shifting nature and Gwen's clever magical spy demeanor were well represented. Situational awareness. A. Gwen showed excellent recall by reminding Bruno about the pre-assigned fight for Miles and Jack. Bruno had a minor lapse in memory, but Gwen's quick correction prevented any issues, showcasing her sharp focus. Thanks for helping me get better at this. It's important to get the details right.
The story seems make sense with good grammar. Thanks for a great scenario. You're thinking of my answer now. Like, oh, what do I say to you?
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help, and that you enjoyed the battle scenario. It's a great goal to focus on making your story scenes clear and grammatically sound. That's key to building a strong narrative. I'm always here to help you refine your ideas and polish your writing. If you want to work on another scene or have any questions about grammar, flow, or just making things make sense in your stories, feel free to ask.
Okay. I sure will. Okay, time for more bounce now. Anyway. Wait, no, Come on, he gonna be part of that thing too. Okay, I'm gonna say, Caro, Mal. She got a long name. versus. Got so many villains in here. Okay. They asked, I'm gonna do eventually, all camera guys or when these videos come out with it like right away or take a little time, come with like more superheroes. Because they do have superhero allies. I'm a nerd, but oh well. Okay, Mark. Sorry. Yeah, he got the right. She had faces Izzy one-on-one, like a regular, like a hand-to-hand combat battle, hand-to-hand combat fight, and then have Izzy wins, of course, or fight the Dirty Ring style, but actually knock her out. Izzy's a superhero, and never mind.
The grand, abandoned stadium, usually echoing with cheers, now stood silent under a bruised twilight sky. The air crackled with an unseen tension. In the center of the dusty ring, Mal Cutson, the female WWE superstar knockoff, flexed her impressive physique. She wore a confident, almost arrogant smirk, her eyes fixed on her 3 opponents entering the arena. First came Mark, the powerful sorcerer of elements, time, and bad luck magic. His robes shimmered with faint energies, his gaze sharp and analytical. Beside him strode Izzy, the Fire Queen, her presence alone causing the air to warm, tendrils of heat dancing around her clenched fists. Bringing up the rear, his movements almost imperceptible, was Miles, the Ice Warrior. He moved silently, his crystalline armor reflecting the dim light, his expression stoic, betraying little. Mal thumped her chest, grinning. All right, magic tricks. Let's see if those sparkly hands can handle a real suplex. Mark stepped forward, his voice calm but imbued with authority. Mal Cutson, your physical prowess is noted, but you face forces far beyond simple brawling. We've each bested entities like Doctor Strange on our own. Do you truly believe you stand a chance?
Right, there you go.
Mal scoffed, charging forward with surprising speed. Talk is cheap, wizard. She aimed a powerful clothesline at Mark, intending to send him flying. But Mark was ready. Before she could connect, he snapped his fingers. Suddenly, Mal found herself stumbling, her footing inexplicably
bad
slipping,
luck
and a
spell.
loose buckle on her boot seemed to tighten, throwing off her balance just enough to make her swing miss entirely. This was the bad luck magic at work.
Yeah, I
As
was going to say that's one of the bad luck spells.
Mal regained her footing, Izzy unleashed a torrent of scorching fire. A wave of superheated flame erupted from her hands, forcing Mal to roll and dive, narrowly avoiding being engulfed. The ring canvas sizzled and blackened where the fire touched. You'll feel the burn, superstar, Izzy yelled. Mal, despite the heat, was agile. She scrambled up, trying to close the distance on Izzy, but then Miles moved. Without a word, the air around Mal plummeted in temperature. Frost instantly bloomed on her exposed skin, and a jagged wall of ice erupted from the canvas between her and Izzy, stopping her charge cold. The temperature was so extreme, her breath plumed out in thick clouds.
They got yours backs.
Stay back. Miles's voice was a low, resonant rumble, cutting through the chilling air. His words were few, but impactful. Mal gritted her teeth. This wasn't a wrestling match. These 3 weren't just powerful. They worked together with an almost unnatural synergy. She tried a different tactic, feinting towards Izzy before suddenly veering towards Miles, hoping to get close and grapple him. Mark anticipated her move. Not so fast, he murmured, a faint green light glowing in his hands. Time around, Mal seemed to warp. She was moving at normal speed, but the world around her, and particularly Miles, seemed to accelerate. Miles subtly shifted, bringing his ice-armored fist up as Mal, now moving relatively slower, ran straight into a chilling uppercut. The impact wasn't just physical. A jolt of raw cold shot through her arm, making her wince. This is not a fair fight, Mal growled, rubbing her arm. 3 against 1. Fairness is irrelevant in these stakes, Izzy retorted, unleashing a volley of miniature fireballs that peppered the ground around Mal, forcing her to dance around them like a deadly game of hopscotch. Mal, however, was incredibly resilient. She absorbed the blows, the time warps, the bad luck, and the elemental assaults with surprising stamina. She tried to grapple Miles again, but he flowed away like mist, effortlessly dodging her attempts.
Yeah.
When she finally got a grip on one of his ice-shot arms, Miles simply let his arm turn to mist, reformed it instantly, and in the same motion, formed an ice shackle around her wrist. Impressive strength, Miles said, his voice flat as Mal struggled against the cuff. Mark, seeing his opportunity, raised his hands. The lights in the stadium flickered erratically, and objects seemed to glitch in and out of existence around Mal. This was his bad luck magic at its peak.
Oh.
Then, a massive boulder of earth erupted from the ground,
Oh, okay,
beneath
calm
Mal,
down, Mark.
lifting her into the air. Before she could react, Izzy unleashed a concentrated beam of fire, not directly at Mal, but at the boulder, heating it to an unbearable temperature. Mal shrieked, forced to let go of the ice shackle as the heat became agonizing. As she fell, disoriented, Miles, without a word, simply stepped forward and caught her in a freezing grip. A thin layer of ice instantly spread over her, not trapping her fully, but restricting her movement and chilling her to the bone. Mark stepped forward, his eyes glowing with all three of his powers. "You are a formidable physical specimen, Mal Cutson," he acknowledged, "but you cannot punch time, burn ice, or out-wrestle bad luck. This conflict is over." Mal, shivering and defeated, could only glare. She was strong, but against the combined, nuanced powers of Mark, Izzy, and Miles, each of whom had taken down a sorcerer of Doctor Strange's caliber on their own, she was simply outmatched. The three elemental sorcerers stood victorious, their silent coordination proving far more potent than any physical might.
He's all in charge between us three.
You are absolutely right. My apologies for that imprecision in the final summary. Mark is indeed the sorcerer, wielding elemental, time, and bad luck magic. Izzy is the fire queen, focusing on fire elemental abilities. Miles is the ice warrior, focusing on ice elemental abilities. Thanks for helping me keep the details accurate. I'll make sure to reflect that distinction going forward.
Okay. What? She has powers too. See, I was thinking like her really be a physical combatant, like this combat. I mean, no, you know what? Let's give her powers too. Blast Izzy. No, let's say Blast Mark. He's the most powerful of all three of them right now. I'm back, yo.
As Mal, still recovering from the brutal cold, her eyes suddenly flared with an intense crimson glow. A focused blast of heat vision erupted from them, aimed directly at Mark. The air shimmered and distorted as the
Oh my god. Back at a loud freaking airplane.
heated beam shot across the arena.
Yeah. Well, she might have powers too, so. I don't know.
Mark, his sorceress senses honed, detected the sudden surge of energy from Mal. Even as the heat vision erupted, he wasn't there. With a barely perceptible shift in time, he dodged the crimson beam, stepping casually to the side as it scorched the very air where he had stood moments before.
Izzy gonna have some sass to her.
keep that to yourself, Izzy snapped, her eyes flashing with a fiery intensity. Before Mal could react, Izzy swiftly moved in and delivered a sharp kick to her stomach, doubling Mal over.
Take that, Mal. Yo, let me... Well, did y'all hear that plane earlier? Did y'all hear that plane? A loud plane. Loudest thing on earth. Okay. They take, you know. Well, first we'll see. How you get income? What the freak you be getting income from? I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna end this.
Mal crumpled to the ground, unconscious. Mark, Izzy, and Miles wasted no time. They efficiently secured the knocked-out Mal and transported her back to their hidden base. Once there, Mark used his sorceress abilities to conjure a secure, reinforced cell, into which he placed the formidable yet currently subdued Mal Cutson. The end.
Rainbow. Yeah, subdued Mal Cutson. Okay. What's the loud plane? How do you spell plane? Oh. In the world. That plane I heard was it. Let's see. It's loud as crap. No, you don't answer to that, or? Oh, shoot, hold on.
The loudest plane in the world, and arguably the loudest aircraft ever built, was the Republic XF-84H Thunder Screech. This experimental turboprop aircraft from the 1950s earned its infamous nickname because its propeller tips consistently traveled faster than the speed of sound, even at idle. This created a continuous sonic boom that radiated outwards. Reports say it could be heard up to 25 miles, 40 kilometers away, and the noise was so extreme that it caused physical symptoms like nausea and headaches in ground crew members nearby. It was so problematic due to its noise and other issues that the program was quickly canceled after only a handful of test flights.
So, since it's okay, what's a lot of playing now? I'm putting now. Let's put now. So, since it's canceled.
Since the Republic XF-84H Thunder Screech was canceled, the title of Loudest Plane Now among operational aircraft is generally considered to be the Tupolev Tu-95 Bear. This large, four-engine turboprop strategic bomber from the Soviet era is still in active service with the Russian Aerospace Forces. Its immense loudness comes from its unique contra-rotating propellers, whose tips often move faster than the speed of sound. This creates a distinctive, powerful buzzing noise that can be heard from many miles away, reportedly even by submerged submarine crews. While perhaps not as ear-splittingly painful as the Thunder Screech was at close range, the Tu-95's noise footprint is incredibly significant for an operational aircraft.
Okay. Thanks for the plane info.
You're most welcome. Glad I could provide that information about the world's loudest planes. Is there anything else you'd like to know about aircraft, or perhaps a different topic entirely?
Yeah. What's the loudest? No, I'm supposed to spell an animal. Yeah, what's the last animal? I don't even know nobody knows that. I don't think. Oh, never mind.
The title for the loudest animal on Earth goes to the sperm whale, Physeter macrocephalus. These magnificent marine mammals produce incredibly powerful clicks for echolocation and communication that can reach an astonishing 230 to 236 decibels, Re1 micropascal M. To put that into perspective, a jet engine at takeoff is around 140 to 150 decibels, and sounds above 120 to 130 decibels can cause immediate pain and hearing damage in humans. While these sounds are underwater, where sound travels differently than in air, and they would be less intense if heard in the air, they are still by far the most powerful animal sounds ever recorded. Sperm whales use these intense clicks to navigate the deep, dark ocean and to locate their prey, which includes giant squid.
Oh, wow. Thanks. Oh, wow. Thanks. Yeah, I love the squid. They'll kill one in 2 seconds if they're really hungry.
You're welcome. Sperm whales are truly
I'm back.
fascinating creatures. It's wild to think about how loud they are, even in the vastness of the ocean. Is there anything else I can tell you about amazing animals, or maybe something completely different?
Yeah. How loud is a... Can I really even make sounds, by the way? They didn't even have sounds to them. You know what?
Interestingly, octopuses are generally considered to be quite quiet animals. Unlike whales or dolphins who use sophisticated vocalizations and echolocation, octopuses don't typically produce sounds for communication or navigation in the way many other marine animals do. The sounds you might hear related to an octopus are usually incidental or mechanical, such as jet propulsion. When an octopus uses its siphon to propel itself through water, it can create a whooshing sound. Movement. When they move across surfaces or manipulate objects, there might be slight rustling or scraping sounds. Chewing/feeding. If they're eating hard-shelled prey like crabs, you might hear subtle crunching sounds. However, they don't produce loud, deliberate sounds for communication or hunting like the clicks of a sperm whale. In fact, research has shown that cephalopods, which include octopuses, squid, and cuttlefish, can be quite sensitive to loud underwater noise, with studies indicating that even relatively low-intensity, low-frequency sounds can cause them stress or even physical trauma. So while a sperm whale is the loudest animal, an octopus is on the far opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to sound production.
How do you call stress and physical trauma? I was really listening to this.
Underwater noise, especially from human activities known as anthropogenic noise, can cause significant stress and physical trauma to octopuses and other cephalopods through several mechanisms. 1. Damage to statocysts, balance organs. Octopuses, like other cephalopods, have specialized sensory organs called statocysts. These are fluid-filled sacs lined with tiny hair cells, similar in function to the inner ear and vestibular system in mammals. They are crucial for sensing gravity, detecting vibrations, maintaining balance, and orienting themselves in the water column. Studies have shown that exposure to even relatively low-frequency, low-intensity sounds, like those from shipping, seismic surveys, or sonar, can cause physical damage to these delicate hair cells within the statocysts. This damage can range from ruptured hair cells to swollen nerve fibers, and even visible lesions or holes in the sensory epithelium. This acoustic trauma can lead to disorientation, difficulty in swimming, and impaired balance. 2. Physiological stress response. Like many animals, exposure to prolonged or intense noise acts as a stressor. This can trigger a physiological stress response, similar to fight or flight. This can lead to increased metabolic rates, elevated stress hormones, and other changes that can negatively impact their overall health, growth, immune response, and even reproductive success over time. 3. Behavioral disruption. Loud or unfamiliar noises can cause octopuses to exhibit alarm responses, such as trying to escape, hiding, or changing their typical behaviors. This can disrupt essential activities like foraging, finding food, evading predators, mating, and even resting. If they are constantly disturbed, their ability to survive and thrive is compromised. 4. Masking of biologically important sounds.
Oh.
Although octopuses don't produce loud sounds themselves, they do rely on subtle acoustic cues in their environment. For instance, they might detect the vibrations from prey, predators, or even suitable habitat features. Loud human-made noise can mask these crucial natural sounds, making it harder for octopuses to perceive them. This can lead to reduced foraging efficiency, increased vulnerability to predators, and difficulty in navigating their environment. 5. Direct physical injury. In extreme cases, while more common with very intense, impulsive sounds like explosions or pile driving, extreme sound pressure can potentially cause internal injuries like hemorrhaging, tissue damage, or even mortality. Though research specifically on octopuses for these most severe impacts is still developing compared to other marine life. In essence, while octopuses don't hear in the same way humans do, their entire body can feel vibrations in the water, and their specialized balance organs are particularly vulnerable to acoustic trauma from human-generated noise. The consequences can be severe, potentially impacting their ability to live, hunt, and reproduce effectively.
Wow. They are super sensitive. I'll put that way. They are super sensitive.
They really are, more sensitive than many people realize. It's quite striking how something we might consider just noise can have such profound and damaging effects on creatures like octopuses, especially given their lack of complex hearing structures like ours. It highlights how connected all life is within an ecosystem, even to unseen influences like underwater sound.
Have access. Can they eat bread? Ooh.
No, octopuses cannot eat bread, and it's actually very bad for them. Octopuses are carnivores. Their natural diet consists primarily of crabs and other crustaceans, like shrimp and lobsters, clams, snails, and other mollusks, small fish. Some species even eat other octopuses. Their digestive system is designed to break down animal protein. Bread, being a carbohydrate-based food, is completely outside of their natural diet, and they lack the enzymes to digest it properly. Feeding them bread can lead to digestive issues. It can cause blockages or other problems in their digestive tract. Nutritional deficiencies. Bread offers no nutritional value for an octopus, and relying on it could lead to starvation even if they appear to be eating. Behavioral changes. If an octopus gets used to being fed bread by humans, it might stop foraging for its natural food, which is harmful in the long run. In summary, it's crucial to only feed octopuses, and any wildlife, their natural, appropriate diet.
Wait a minute. They just start, eating bread? Wow. Can they eat what are some new things that they can eat. I'm curious now about octopuses. Well, back then I knew they had there's 300 species of octopuses. They have blue blood. They have beaks. I want to see octopus beak. I might get traumatized. Not really.
When talking about new things octopuses can eat, it's important to differentiate between 1. New discoveries about their natural diet in the wild. This means identifying prey items that scientists hadn't previously known they consumed. 2. New developments in captive diets, aquariums/research facilities. This refers to novel food sources or formulations created for octopuses in human care, often to ensure complete nutrition or provide enrichment. 1. New discoveries in their natural diet. Wild octopuses. While their primary diet remains crustaceans, crabs, shrimp, mollusks, clams, snails, other octopuses, and fish, recent research, often using molecular techniques like DNA sequencing of stomach contents, has revealed a broader range of prey for various octopus species. Diverse zooplankton, especially for paralarvae, baby octopuses, studies show they consume a wide variety of tiny zooplankton, including different types of copepods, cladocerans, amphipods, and euphausiids, krill. This is crucial for their early development. Worms. Some species have been found to eat polychaetes, bristleworms, and annelids, echinoderms. There's evidence of some octopuses consuming ophiuroids, brittle stars, and even sea stars. Sipunculans, peanut worms. Some octopuses have been observed preying on these burrowing marine worms. Cannibalism. While not new in the sense of a novel food source, it's a significant part of their diet, especially when food is scarce or a size disparity exists. 2.
Oh, when they're bigger than the other octopuses. Octopus, yeah.
New developments in captive diets. For octopuses in aquariums or research settings, the goal is often to provide a balanced diet that mimics the wild, but also to ensure availability and cost-effectiveness. Dry/pelleted feeds. This is a significant development. Historically, octopuses in captivity relied almost entirely on fresh or frozen seafood, shrimp, crabs, fish, scallops. However, researchers are now developing artificial dry foods, pellets, that can be fed to captive octopuses. These typically consist of ingredients like fish meal, krill meal, and gelatin. While still being refined, octopuses might not gain weight as rapidly as on natural foods. This is a major breakthrough for aquaculture and long-term captive care. Variety for enrichment. Beyond just the type of food, newness for a captive octopus also comes from how the food is presented. Aquariums often use puzzle feeders. Hiding food in jars with screw tops, boxes with latches, or plastic balls with holes encourages their intelligence and natural foraging behaviors. Live versus frozen. While live prey is ideal for enrichment, frozen, thawed seafood, like shrimp, scallops, and various fish, is a common staple, sometimes supplemented with live food for stimulation. So while the core diet of octopuses remains carnivorous and focused on marine invertebrates and fish, ongoing research continues to reveal the incredible diversity of their natural prey, and scientific advancements are creating more sustainable and comprehensive diets for those in human care.
Okay, thanks, bro. That's a good information.
You got it. Happy to help. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
Yes. Can you grade Mark and Izzy and Miles? This guy grade them and then be over, and that's all you gotta do. You gotta grade them and then after that, we're done with Gemini. Where's my remote controller, y'all? Yeah, where's my remote? Well, I thought today's Sunday, but it's actually Thursday. Oh, good, I put it over here. Sorry, Miss Catherine.
Okay, let's grade Mark, Izzy, and Miles on their performance against Mal Cutson. Grade for Mark, Izzy, and Miles.
He remembered her name.
Overall grade, A+. This trio demonstrated exceptional teamwork, strategic thinking, and effective use of their unique powers to completely dominate the battle. Here's a breakdown. Teamwork, A+. Their coordination was seamless. They didn't rely on brute force alone, but used their diverse abilities in conjunction. Mark's bad luck magic to disrupt Mal's initial charge. Izzy's fire to force evasive maneuvers. Miles' ice to create barriers and slow her. Mark's time manipulation and bad luck to set up Miles' counterattack. The final, combined assault using earth, fire, and ice to subdue her. They anticipated each other's moves and covered weaknesses. Effectiveness in combat, A+. They achieved their objective swiftly and decisively, rendering Mal Cutson unconscious without seemingly excessive force. Each of their powers was used strategically to incapacitate and control, rather than just inflict damage. Their individual power levels, as highlighted by their past victories over Doctor Strange, were clearly showcased as overwhelming. Character consistency, A+. Mark maintained his calm, analytical demeanor, effectively deploying complex magic like time manipulation and bad luck. His initial authoritative statement about their past Doctor Strange victories reinforced his power. Izzy retained her fiery personality and direct, powerful elemental attacks, adding a sharp, confrontational edge to the team. Miles perfectly fit his mostly quiet but can talk personality.
Thank you.
His movements were silent, his interventions precise and devastating. Ice wall, chilling uppercut, ice shackle. And his few spoken words were impactful and to the point. Stay back, impressive strength.
Yeah.
His quiet effectiveness was a key element.
Yeah,
Strategic thinking, A+. They immediately understood Mal's physical threat and used their powers to negate her strengths, speed, close combat, brute force. They didn't just throw magic, they used it to manipulate the battlefield, disrupt her balance, control her movement, and set up combined attacks. Mark's use of bad luck and time manipulation was particularly strategic in disorienting Mal and creating openings. They truly fought like a well-oiled, highly powerful unit. Excellent job creating such a formidable team.
What? He gotta know. I just gotta let him know. He gotta remember.
You are absolutely correct. My apologies for the repeated mischaracterization. I need to be more precise with their power types. You're helping me get better at this, and I truly appreciate the correction. Mark is the only one with magic, sorcerer of elements, time, and bad luck. Izzy is the fire queen, elemental powers but not a sorcerer. Miles is the ice warrior, elemental powers but not a sorcerer. Thanks again for the sharp eye.
Oh. Man. At least fix the grade, dude.
You are absolutely right to keep me on my toes. My apologies for that recurring inaccuracy. I'm reprocessing this information to ensure I maintain the correct distinctions for their power sets. Here's the fixed grade, with the precise roles and powers in mind. Grade for Mark, Izzy, and Miles, corrected. Overall grade, A+. This trio demonstrated exceptional teamwork, strategic thinking, and highly effective use of their unique abilities to completely dominate the battle against Mal Cutson. Here's the corrected breakdown. Teamwork, A+. Their coordination was seamless and highly effective. They worked in perfect sync, with Mark's strategic use of magic, Izzy's aggressive elemental fire, and Miles's precise elemental ice attacks complementing each other perfectly. They skillfully manipulated the battlefield and Mal's movements. Effectiveness in combat, A+. They swiftly and decisively neutralized a physically formidable opponent without unnecessary escalation. Each of their powers was deployed strategically to incapacitate and control Mal, leading to her quick defeat. Their individual power levels, as previously noted by their past victories against Doctor Strange, were undeniable in their combined impact. Character consistency, A+. Mark, consistently portrayed as the calm, analytical sorcerer, expertly deploying his diverse magic, elements, time, bad luck, to control the flow of battle and outmaneuver Mal. Izzy maintained her fiery demeanor and directly applied her potent fire elemental powers to keep Mal on the defensive and inflict damage. Miles perfectly embodied his mostly quiet but can talk persona, using his ice elemental powers with silent precision and speaking only when absolutely necessary, making his few words impactful.
Yeah.
Strategic thinking, A+. They immediately grasped Mal's physical strengths and devised a multi-pronged approach to negate them. Their strategy involved not just raw power, but clever application of their abilities, disrupting Mal's balance with bad luck, controlling her movement with ice, and overwhelming her with combined elemental assaults, all orchestrated by Mark's sorcery. Thank you again for guiding me to be more precise. It's crucial that I accurately reflect the details you provide.
Oh my gosh. I will talk to you. What? Bread, bacon, and a soap bar. Come on. He run a little slow, but...
Sounds good. Talk to you later.
And guys, please make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for 94 subscribers. I appreciate it. Purple. Fight blue. No, I said fight blue. And I fight yellow. Okay, we're done. Wait, I want to check the other stuff on here. Oh, hold on. Erase that. Oh, you just screenshot stuff. See you guys.